So with that, we are finally done and ready to export our character to Unreal Engine 4 and get started with the cloth simulation on the character itself. The first thing I'm going to do is to scale down everything to the size that I'm comfortable with, so that I won't have to do any kind of programming about the height of the character itself inside the engine. If you want some advice, don't try to scale down and up everything and try to mess up with the metric system inside the Blender or the engine itself, because, well, that way you're going just to have some extra work to do. And supposing that you have to scale down or up your character, don't forget to apply the changes that you made. To do so, just press Ctrl A and then select all transformations. So let's start with the export configuration. First things first, select objects must always be selected. That way you will be 100% sure that your character is the only thing that's going to be your character. Don't forget to leave the leaf bones and the apply transform checkbox unchecked. That way you will be sure that your character is going to be exported in the way that he is supposed to. You can both choose to apply or not the modifiers, but be aware that by clicking the checkbox you will be preventing your character to export any kind of morph target. So name it correctly and click on Export FBX. Okay, so now it's time to open a new project and import your character inside the engine. For the sake of the tutorial, I'm going to create a new project instead of applying the character to a pre-existing one. So click on the Launch button at the Engine Versions tab. Now let's wait for it to load up and select the third person template. The third person template is located at the New Project tab, so just click on the tab and then select the third person template, select the folder that you want to be placed in your whole project and click on Create Project. Okay, so now since we have our project, you are just going to import the character inside of it. Well, when you import your character for the first time, this window will pop up. Just leave everything as it is and click on the Import Morph Targets if you have any. So after you're done with that, just select Import All button and wait for it to load up inside your project. This might take a while since it's the first time you import your character. Don't be afraid if the engine by any chance freezes and don't try to close it up, okay? Just wait for it to load the skeletal mesh, the materials, the physical assets and the skeleton itself. Okay, so there it is. There is the character, the physical assets, the skeleton and all the materials that compose your character. Once again, since it's the first time that your character is being loaded inside the project, there is a lot of loading to do. Just leave it be and wait for the compiles to be done. Now, as you can see here, one material is attached to each section of my character. For characters that is a little bit complex, like this one, is really normal to have these many materials attached to it, so don't worry, okay? This video will be specifically about setting your character inside Unreal Engine, so I won't be dealing with the materials just now. Well, I will teach you how to set up some basic master materials so your life gets a little bit easier while setting all this up. So don't worry, and if you want to check it out, just click on the extra sections and might be there a single video just for that purpose. Now, the first thing we are going to do is to duplicate the blueprint of the third person character to apply to our own. Try to locate it on your own just so you can get used to the engine, but if by any chance you have some trouble, the blueprint is located at the third person BP folder and inside the blueprints folder. To duplicate anything inside Unreal, just select it and press Ctrl W or right click and then click on duplicate. Don't forget to name it properly because, well, naming, as I said before, is really important to get it right. Okay, so now it's time to put our character inside the blueprint instead of the third person one. Now, to do so, select the mesh inherited at the left corner. After that, the right corner options will change. Well, on the mesh tab, you will be able to select the skeletal mesh that you want, in our case, our character. So now we have our blueprint with our own character, and now it's time to deal with the animations to make it work properly and get started. Before duplicating the animations itself, we need to set up our skeleton to be able to transfer these animations. To do so, try to find the skeleton of the character that you just imported inside the engine. It's very likely that it is located in the same folder that you imported all the rest things of your own character. Now let's open the Retargeting Manager. To do so, click on the icon with the same name at the top corner of the window. Now, at the Select Rig option, select Humanoid Rig. That way, if you name all the bones properly, each bone will be recognized as the same as the SK mannequin. You can also choose to select manually each bone as well, in case that the bone has a different name by any possibility. Don't forget to check out each one of the bones. The bones must have the same name as the SK mannequin for this to work automatically, otherwise you are going to have to set up each one of the different bones by hand. We are almost done. Now you select the Skeleton Tree tab and then at the Options button select Show Retargeting Options. The next thing you gotta do is to right click the animation button right besides the root bone. Then select Recursively Translate all the bones to skeleton. This will change all the bones to skeleton. Now, after you've done so, don't forget to click again on the root bone and then change the skeleton to animation, and then at the pelvis button, change the skeleton to animation scale. Okay, and with that, we are pretty much done by now. Now it's time to duplicate all the animations that the SK mannequin has and export it to your own character. The fastest way to do so is to just select the Animations folder inside the Content tab. Now, select the third person anime BP, right-click it, and then select the Retarget Anime Blueprints. After that, select Duplicate Anime Blueprints and Retarget, select the skeleton of your character, and then apply it. Don't forget to rename the anime blueprint as well. It's very important to have all the names correctly set up. So I think I will rename all the animations as well and create a single folder just to set up my character. I will just place everything that is related to that character in that folder for better comprehension and, well, to be more organized. Now let's place everything that's related to our character inside the folder. Now, to be a little bit more organized, I'm going to set up new folders for the materials, for the textures, and anything else that I think is necessary to have. Now let's drag everything related to their own folder and finish the character setup. And again, in order to be more organized, let's open up new folders for the textures, for the instance, and the material functions. I highly recommend you to follow this very same folder structure that I'm setting up here, because well, that way we'll be 100% sure that everything is organized and well, they are placed in where they are supposed to be. Now let's open our character BP and attach the animation blueprint to it. To do so, click on Mesh and then at the right tab, select the anime class of the same name that you just renamed your animation blueprint. And please do not forget to save everything after you're done. To do so, just select Ctrl-Shift-S or go to the File tab at the top corner and then click on Save All. And that's it, your character is done and ready to being set up inside Unreal. Okay, so now it's time to make our character be the playable one instead of the standard SK mapping. To do so, at the right corner on the search details, type player. Then, selecting the first person character blueprint, you will see that the only option that appears is the auto-possessed player. In order to make this character stop being a playable one, change it to disabled and then click on your own character and change it to player 0. And then, well, you're done. In the next video, I'm going to show you quickly how to set up any kind of animation that you want to be retargeted to your own character. And well, after that we are going to start with the cloth simulation, whether it's by cloth or by physics. I hope you guys liked the video and see you on the next one.